Hi, I'm Adriana, trauma-informed yoga instructor and physiotherapist. And today's video is going to be a gentle and calming nighttime yoga practice that you can do to help center the mind and the body before falling asleep. It might be nice to have a pillow or a blanket and jump into something comfortable and get your mat and you can join me. I'll be starting today's class in child's form, so if you would like to make your way there when you're ready, please do so. There's many different variations you might decide to choose for child's form. The first one, having the arms above the head and the knees wide, placing the head on the mat. If you'd like some different variations or options, you could grab a pillow or a blanket and place it underneath the head and the chest for a little bit more support. Another option might be to place a pillow or a blanket underneath the sit bones. So you can pick whichever one feels most supportive for you today. We'll spend a few moments here centering in. Focusing on the breath as it enters through the nose or the mouth. Maybe feeling your body move with the breath. And if at any point this form starts to feel uncomfortable, please switch to something else. Spending a few more moments here in your own time, focusing in on your breath. If you would like to get a little bit of a different sensation, I invite you to take both arms and bring them over to one side of your mat. Continue to bring the sit bones down as far as feels comfortable towards the ground. You might notice a little bit more sensation or stretching on the right side of your body as you do this. Bringing awareness to that area. Perhaps recognizing if it feels good or not so good, and if it doesn't feel good, knowing that you have the choice to come out. On the next breath, bringing the arms over to the other side of the mat, doing the same thing, bringing the sit bones back, maybe noticing more of a stretch on the right side of your body. Tuning in once again to the breath if you've moved away from that. Noticing the inhalation through the nose or the mouth and the exhalation. Breathing in whatever way feels comfortable to you. Whenever you're ready, I invite you to come up onto all fours. Gently bring your knees together and just sit backwards on the knees. Taking a nice inhale, a nice exhale. A few more breaths here, maybe noticing a few sensations through the legs, through the lower legs or the upper legs. This does not feel good, you can move onto your back. I'll be moving there in a few minutes. One more breath here, perhaps exhaling with a bit of a sigh. Letting that energy go from the day. And I invite you to make your way onto your back, getting there in whatever way works for you. If you would like a pillow, feel free to use one. And once you make your way to your back, we'll be working through a few gentle forms here, working with our breath to center into relaxation. In your own time, taking your right knee, bringing it up towards your chest, bringing the arms up to hug that knee if that feels good for you. Spending a few moments here. Maybe noticing your stomach rest against your thigh as you breathe in and out. Seeing if you can get nice full breaths. Nice deep inhale, stomach resting against the thigh. A gentle exhale. One more time. On that exhale, bringing the right leg down and repeating the same thing on the other side. Bringing that left knee up to the chest, squeezing with the hands if that feels good for you today. Perhaps noticing on this side, the breath against the thigh, stomach against the thigh. If it doesn't feel good to tune into that sensation, maybe notice the breath coming in through the nose, exiting through the nose, that feeling of air. Taking one more breath with that left knee tucked in. And the exhale, lowering, bringing both knees to be bent on the mat and the feet resting on the mat. And I invite you to gently rock back and forth with the legs, bringing both of them over to the right as far as feels comfortable. On an exhale, bringing them back up to center. On an inhale, lowering them down to the left. And exhale, back to center. You can move through this at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling in a way that works for your body today. Gently moving the knees back and forth. Maybe you can take a second to tune into the upper body. Tune into the face and notice if you're clenching anything, clenching the forehead or clenching the jaw. Can you relax there a little bit? Can you bring your shoulders just a little bit more away from your ears? Always remembering that this is your practice. You get the choice to participate in what works for you. One more gentle back and forth with the knees. Moving into one more form before our final resting. This one, couple different options. You can bring both knees up to the chest and gently grab onto the knees with your hands and stay here. If you'd like a little bit more of a twist, you can take both your knees once they're up and rotate them over to one side. And if that feels like a little bit too much of a sensation, you can take a pillow or a blanket and place it underneath where the knees are for a little bit more rest in this form. If none of those options feel good for you, then I invite you to choose whatever does feel good. Spending a few moments here, tuning into the body. Be noticing some pulling through that left side if you're twisting to the right. You have both your knees at your chest, maybe inviting some gentle rocking from side to side or back and forth. Spending a few moments of awareness here, feeling the gentle rise and fall of the chest or the stomach. In your own time, coming back to center if you're turned over to the right, and doing this exact same thing on the other side if that calls to you. Bringing both knees up and gently lowering them over to the left. You may notice a different sensation from one side to the other. Just bring awareness to that. It's not right or wrong. Spending a couple minutes in this form, once again, tuning into the gentle rise and fall of the breath. You notice your mind wanders, that's okay. Bring it back. One more breath on this side. Making your way back to center in your own time. Moving into the final resting form, you can choose whatever that looks like to you. If you have your blanket, it might be nice to put the blanket on. Maybe you want to lie on your side. Maybe you want to lie on your stomach. Whatever rest looks like to you, I invite you to do that. Doing a final gentle scan here, starting from the top of the head. And if it feels good, making your way through your body, down the face, down into the neck and the shoulders, and just notice any sensations arising in those areas. Perhaps bringing some relaxation and gentleness there. Making your way down through the chest and the upper back, into the stomach and the lower back. Moving into the hips, the legs, the knees. Finally to the lower legs and the feet. Trying to find relaxation in any of these places. As you're ending your day, I invite you to think of 3 things that you are grateful for today. That could be anything at all. It could be the fact that you're practicing right now. It could be that you are breathing. Maybe you had a really good meal earlier today, or you got to spend some time outside. Whatever comes to mind, just remember those 3 little pieces of gratitude. Taking one last breath here, breathing in through the nose and letting it out in a sigh. Inhale, and let it go. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Have a wonderful sleep.